welcome to Overdrive. I'm Rohit Paradkar. Now, Ducati India has dropped the third generation Diavel in the market. The prices begin at a little under 26 lakh rupees. The motorcycles are here with me in Pune. I'm going to give you a closer look at these, talk about the design details and all the features. So let's dive right in. So let's begin with the design. The iconic design done by Glenker, that has not been messed up with too much. That silhouette immediately tells you this is still a Ducati Diavel. Now Diavel simply translates to the devil, and look at the design details. They have tried to sort of give it a three-faced look. So the headlight is of course the main face, and then even the intakes on the side are sort of designed to replicate a similar shape or similar detailing. You know, almost like the face of Ravan. Ravan had 10, here I can see 3. It's more noticeable in the red. When you look at it from different angles, it literally feels like the motorcycle's always looking at you. I don't know if you're seeing that. Let me know if you're seeing that, or is it just me. But yeah, in terms of the design details, there is an all new headlight design now. The detailing is absolutely stunning on this. You can see the big DRLs on the side as well. And then replicating that design are these vents. So which is why, like these DRLs here, you also get these contrasting panels on the side, which sort of shows off that shape. And if you look further back, this actually looks like an all black panel from a distance, but when you look closer, you can see the brushed metal finish on it, which I think looks stunning. Now, the interesting bit is this panel, even this panel right here that says the V4 Gran Turismo, all of these are body panels that are sort of hiding the chassis, the head, the engine head here. You can see the engine head at the front, that one is visible, but the one at the rear, that is hidden behind this particular panel. In fact, this is like a single piece panel, so there's a bit of the gloss bodywork as well as this kind of detailing which mimics the look of an engine head but is actually just a panel that sits on top. So it's quite nicely masking the new chassis. So if you remember the older Diavel, clearly you had that trellis frame here, right? So that trellis frame is gone. Now this one uses a proper monocoque frame that holds the engine from the top, and then you have a rear subframe for your seats. So it's a new design, chassis and engine design that we've seen with the Panigale, and that now filters onto the Diavel as well. In fact, the engine, the V4 Gran Turismo, now this is the big talking point because this is now a Diavel V4. This Gran Turismo engine comes from the Multistrada with tuning differences, of course, but the output is almost similar. So it's a 1158cc motor that puts out 168 PS of power. And like the displacement, even the torque has gone down a little bit. Remember, the previous generation of the Diavel was a 1260 and it put out about 129 Newton meters of torque. This one will do about 126. But honestly, these are just figures. We all know what that V4 engine is capable of. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to a Ducati dealership, go take a test ride. If you're in Pune, definitely come to this dealership right here. I'm going to drop the details for the dealership in the description below. Definitely do come and take a test ride. These guys usually have a test ride vehicle available for most of the models on sale. And you must, if you're a biker, you must definitely experience what that V4 engine feels like. So that Gran Turismo engine makes its way into the Diavel. Now some of you are going to say that it's a bit more power, or rather it's too much power or too much engine for a motorcycle of this order. I don't quite agree. This is a power cruiser. We are all power mongers at the end of the day, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of takers for this engine and people who are excited about this engine. Also remember, because this is the Gran Turismo motor, not the same Panigale V4 motor, it's also going to have a much longer service interval. So the wall clearance service interval is at 60,000 kilometers. So that also reduces the service cost of this motorcycle vis-a-vis the previous generations of the Diavel. I already gave you the power and torque ratings, but the other beautiful bit about this engine is that the rear section or the rear bank of cylinders, those two cylinders can be turned off completely. Now you're not doing that. It's the computers that are doing that, but at lower load conditions where it feels that you don't really need all 4 cylinders gunning, the rear 2 cylinders are simply going to be shut off. so that not only saves on the fuel economy, reduces emissions, but it also reduces the heat that is coming off the engine, especially when you are riding in the city conditions. Now this of course is the better color. This is the color I love. Any Ducati looks better in red. It's a bit too much red is what a lot of people also initially said when the first images of the Diavel V4 came out. But honestly, in the flesh, I think it looks very sporty, just the way the Street Fighter or the Monster series looks, right? It doesn't ever look like too much bodywork on a Ducati. So it looks nice and sporty. Yes, the exposed trellis frame is gone, so some of the detailing is lost there. Then the cylinder heads also had that scissor kind of detailing, if you know what I mean. So even that detailing is gone. So yeah, the detailing is reduced a bit, which is why the bodywork sort of looks a little mainstay. It looks a little too much, because the detailing around the engine has been lost a little bit. You are just seeing one big chunk in the engine area, and then it's the red bodywork that you see all around, and that is what makes the bodywork sort of take the center stage. But the prettiest angle for me, you may have noticed already, I've not gone too much to the front. The prettiest angle for me for the Diavel is the rear three quarters. I'm just going to move to a wider camera angle and show it to you. The prettiest angle is this, because it not only shows off that new wheel design, it also shows off those quad exhaust pipes, which literally announces to the world that you are riding the new V4 Ducati. So you get these quad exhaust pipes, the layout looks beautiful, and then you also have this really good looking tail light that they've done for this motorcycle. So I'm just going to quickly start the bike here and also give you guys a listen. But before that, let's take a look at that tail light. So again, the tail light is mimicking the design details that we saw at the front. The headlight has a similar shape on the outside for the DRLs. So it's mimicking that kind of shape right here as well. And which is why I said that this is the most beautiful angle for this motorcycle, where you can see those tail lights, you can see those tail pipes, you can see the beautiful design of the wheel. So this to me is the best looking angle on the bike. And now that we've got this bike running, in a way, here you can see the shape that I was talking about with the headlights. So this is what most people are going to see during the day. That is the shape, which is what I was telling you. The shape is sort of mimicked on the air intakes as well. You get a tiny piece of bodywork here that looks like a visor. Of course, it's not going to really give you any wind protection, but yeah, I mean, it all comes together quite nicely. It looks quite nice. Now you can see there are no Öhlins forks on this. That is usually saved for the S variants, but we are not sure. We are hearing that they may not do the S variant with the new Diavel V4, because on the 1260, when we were talking to Ducati during the World Ducati Week, some of them also happened to mention that on the 1260, the S variant did not find as many takers as the S variant does on some of the other models from Ducati. So they may not do the S variant anymore, but they might do some special editions which will have Öhlins suspension, maybe an SP, or maybe some limited edition, maybe some collaborations with Lamborghini. Again, you never know. With Ducati, these kind of possibilities are endless. So all that may happen. Now, the black bike, since we're on the topic of the exhaust as well, the black bike, you can see, is running a different exhaust system. Now, this is from the options catalog. This is the Akrapovic titanium exhaust system, and it runs a completely different design. This still has a quad pipe design, but it's a completely different layout. And boy, it sounds good, which means I should now take a break from talking and give you guys a listen on what these exhausts sound like. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the seating posture of the motorcycle. Now, this is a power cruiser, as you all know, but despite the word cruiser in it, the foot pegs aren't forward mounted, they aren't too rearward either, they are right in the center. So the seating posture is nice and sporty, though not as aggressive as something like the Street Fighter V4, but again, not too relaxed like a typical cruiser. So that is what you want with the Diavel, right? You want those power cruiser ergonomics, and that it works quite nicely. And before again we give that listen, a little bit of that design again. The turn blinkers are nowhere on the side of the motorcycle. They don't stick out from the bodywork because they are mounted right here over the handlebars. Now, while riding, it's going to need a little getting used to, but I think it's a very nice, cleanly done design layout. And of course, it also has the sequential pattern because, well, Audi. There is the Audi connection. If you know what that Audi connection is, put it in the comments below. Oh yeah, now take a listen. Sounds absolutely stunning, don't they? Anyway, so now moving to the tires and the brakes. So what you get is Pirelli Rosso 3 tires for front and rear, and you get massive brakes up front, Brembo calipers et al. So this being a Ducati, you are getting all the top of the line equipment in that sense. The rear tire is massive again. Like I said, it's a Rosso 3, but it is a 240 section tire, 240, 45. I mean, just look at the size of that thing. It's huge. So of course, that also means that you're going to have limited options when you want to change tires. And in the Indian scheme of things, that doesn't sound good given how difficult it is to source tires. But Ducati has a thing going with Pirelli right now. So at least the Pirelli supply for Ducati specifications, not a problem at all. But yeah, you'll have to keep coming back to Ducati when you need those tires, and you will need them often because with that kind of torque, even though the engine is not as wild as the 1260, you are going to be burning away those tires, that rubber, very quickly. So that's that. That is the Ducati Diavel for you. Now, before we sign off, there are some cool design details that I'm going to show you. Now, the seat cowl that you see, that comes standard on the motorcycle and it is easily removable, doesn't need too many tools or whatever. But the beauty is you can see the grab rail, right? So this grab rail, when not in use, can simply be tucked away. You can see it here, right underneath. It can simply be tucked away. Similarly, if you look at the foot pegs, they simply slide out like that. How cool is that? Check that out. How cool is that? I think full marks to Ducati for this, adding more oomph to the design with some functional elements like these. I also like the shape of the footrest. You know, it goes with the whole devil character with the pointy ends. I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, this is the motorcycle. I think it looks quite good. Yes, it is pricey. Yes, it is pricier than the outgoing Diavel, but we've always seen with the Diavel, you're not really trying to reason out and trying to look for practicality and all those kind of things. You are living an extravagant lifestyle, which is why you want a Diavel. And there it fits right into the scheme of things. And with that new V4, I think it will justify that price tag for a lot of people who have experienced that engine. Like I said, if you haven't done that already, if you are a biker, you must definitely go ahead and sample a Ducati V4 in whichever form you can, because those set of engines are simply lovely. But as always, I would like to know, what do you think about not just that engine, but about these models in general? What do you think about the new Diavel? What do you think about the sound of the stock versus the Akrapovic exhaust? Let me know all of that in the comments below. We hope to ride these motorcycles very soon, and when we do, there will be a review of the motorcycle out on Overdrive. But until then, please take care and ride safe, and let us know, what do you think about the new Diavel?